This is a painting, a famous painting which many of you will recognize at once. It is the painting of Vicharavedi of the Last Supper. Now, in a great work of art like this, there is a main theme, but there are many subsidiary themes. There is a background. All these are brought together into a unified whole by a process of design. I suppose even a great film director must be doing this. There is a main theme, but there are many subsidiary themes. So they all knitted together into a unified whole by a process of design. That's what makes it a great artist. Now here in this painting, you will see the central figure of Christ. That is the main theme. But that Christ is silhouetted against a large window. And this is a deep room. There is a great deal of depth. And if you look closely, all these vertical lines which you see in the side, even below, there are a lot of these lines. These are receding to a distance, but they are all converging towards the given impression. They are converging towards the central figure of Christ. So if you take away the background in a shallow room, without these lines, suggesting lines, this would hardly be a classical painting. So even fly away the background, then it will end up as a system of surface value. It is much less than what it is. When you look at the background, Ayurveda could not consider man except as part of the cosmos. Man is cosmos. This is a recurrent theme in Ayurveda. And Ayurveda believes that the substances, our senses we have not interchangeable. What the eye can see, the ear cannot hear. This is one point. But all the senses become, they constitute the physical universe. What is beyond the senses? Supra-sensory, that Ayurveda has nothing to do with it. Ayurveda says nothing about that. So, that is the physical universe, which is accessible to us through our senses. Now, all those which constitute the universe, these five categories, they also constitute the human body. So there is a homology between substances in the universe and substances in the human body. They are the same substances. And this identical composition, that's the reason why they constantly interact with each other. This is a recurrent thing in our life. But how did this universe, as the bar which say, gorgeous palace, the fallen temples, gold globe itself, how did all this born? Where did it come from? How did it begin? Now here Charaka would say, this is the original Mula Sankhya concept, which many people like was Dasgupta, they believe Sankhya system, the Mula Sankhya was actually Charaka, what you read in Ishvara Krishna came later. Now he would say, now here, initially, before everything, there was a state of Avyakta that was undifferentiated, indeterminate, indefinable, primordial state of existence. That is what it was. And within this state, there were three forces acting, latent forces, which were Rajasa. And at some point, Rajasa Brahma started acting, there was a perturbation, and that perturbation could not be reached. That is necessity, it's transcendent. This cannot be changed. It is constant, permanent. So the next stage is Mahat consciousness appears in this perturbed existence, then followed by individuation, what was amorphous, becomes individuation, and then it becomes five subtle forerunners of our senses. And then about 2,000 years ago, he was such a philosopher of the position. And then the next concept is equilibrium, a term which is Samya, again and again you see used. But Samya is not just one unitary state, equilibrium. It consists of many equilibria. First of all, it's Dhatu Samya. There are seven dhatus in the body, muscle, bone, etc. They must be in balance. They must be in equilibrium. That's not enough. Dosha Samya. I won't get into the discussion on dosha, it's a big subject. But our purpose today, it is enough to know they are part of the product of metabolism of food that we eat, the digestion of food, the part which is absorbed and the part which is thrown out. And the part which is thrown out, there are many components, and those are the most important components in that. Now, without their perturbation, no disease can occur. So those doshas must be fully equilibrated. Third, Agni. In all our dhatus, there are fire and burning. Those fires are the things which make things work, move, digestion. These are all due to Agni. Those Agnis must be in balance. This is fun. The body must be in equilibrium with the environment, changing seasons. That must be in equilibrium. And lastly, Hetu Swami, I must say something about this. Very interesting about causation of disease. Hetu means a cause. Now, what it says is there should be a balance between the cause of disease and the body. How can I explain this? One thing, Sarada says, there are causes for diseases all over. They are outside, they are inside. You cannot sanitize the world, you cannot sanitize your body. They are there all the time. But because they are there, you don't get sick. All of us sitting here, like we have millions of organisms doing that, but we are not sick. So, if those agents within us, they are in balance with our body, then there is no disease. So, to produce the disease, mere presence of cause is not enough. The cause of disease must also produce a breach of the equilibrium. Then only the disease comes. So this has an implication in treatment. In treatment, Ayurveda takes the view that there is no point in chasing all these millions of agents. You will never succeed. But this equilibrium, you can strengthen that. Then these causes will take care of it. The fundamental difference in the approach, the therapeutic basis in Ayurveda and Ayurveda. So there is a sum, Hetu Sum, that is, you can see the number of samyas which constitute the generic sum. Look at a full life. This is the point I made. Ayurveda, there are three primary desires in life. Charaka says Pranayashana. People want to live long life. In fact, the Charaka Samhita begins with the first line. There is no invocation in Charaka. He starts off by saying, now we shall discuss the science of long life. That's how he begins. Very business. Now he says, Pranayashana, desire to live long. That's the first. The second is Vichara. Use the wealth. There is nothing more miserable than a long life in poverty. So use the wealth, for which we must do something. Work for the king, work on the farm. So he says, next is patience. And the third is renovation. There is a world beyond afterlife. There is some doubt about this. And then he goes into a long argument to convince the reader that there is probably an afterlife. But he is not quite certain, unlike the other. Then there is a code for daily life, which is very elaborate. It covers your daily conduct, your personal habits, your attitudes to life, your dealing social and behavior, conduct with everybody. It's a very, very long session, covering every aspect of life. That code of living. And virtuous conduct, sadbuddhi, virtue, cheerfulness, courage, forgiveness, kinship to all teachers, Siddhavagita, what he said in the beginning. That's engraved in the teaching. And there is a great deal of rejuvenant therapy, refinement. There is a whole chapter. People want to live long, in good health, 100 years minimum, 500 years. So this was not considered looked down upon. There are all kinds of treatments are prescribed. Indoor treatment, outdoor treatment, all kinds of formulation. Some of them like Chavanapras and all that, but it is much more than that. So that, there is a whole chapter. It's a very positive view on life. And lastly, virilizing life. Vajikaram. To raise the sexual potency to that of a horse's life. That was not looked down upon. So, the Dhamma, Artha and Kama, all these three were praised by Ayurveda. It had very little to say about motion. Now look at the full life. Food. One of the longest chapters in all the three Samhitas. It's about food. And it's classified most elaborately into grains, pulses, meat, vegetables, fruits, greens, alcohol, drinks, water, milk and milk products, sugar cane crop. There are 10 categories. And then sub-classification, grains there are 9 types, pulse 8, meat 9, vegetables 29. There are sub-classifications even in this. I have just taken a few. Fruits 38, greens 12, alcoholic drinks 19. In fact, many people get surprised when I tell them, in fact, person who was speaking at a congress of Kyoto, he telephoned me one day. He asked me, can you give me a quotation from Saraka Samhita, where he talks about the evils of drinking non-drink. So I said, Jaga doesn't say that. He says moderation, but he doesn't say, look at this. There are many types of alcohol drinks, water, different like milk, sugar, all these classifications. Like my Kazana, prepare food, like usually goes like a preparation for aging time. And food additives, all important for the 90s time. If you are interested, you can read detailed classification, how much pains they took. Books like, and going on.